from my doorstep, I could point out 3 different crack houses. That was my neighborhood. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the hood for all intents and purposes. And growing up in that kind of a scenario, in that kind of a scene, you learn things. When I was about 9 years old, or 7, 8 years old, my father took me for the first time to go learn the family trade. And the family trade was dumpster diving. I learned that often how we put food on the table was finding it in other locations. I remember one time when I was about 9 years old, I had a really big desire. Like I had a really big dream. This dream was like out of this world for me. And more than anything, I wanted this thing. I wanted it more than I could breathe, right? I wanted it so bad. This dream for me was to build a treehouse. I wanted something that I could call my own, I wanted to believe that I could create something bigger than my circumstances had provided for me. And we had this massive oak tree in my backyard. And I remember going outside and I would circle this oak tree and I just go around this oak tree just imagining what it would look like, my treehouse. So I wanted to go to my parents, but my beliefs from all of my experience were if I go to my parents and ask them or tell them about what I want, what are they going to tell me? Yeah, they're going to tell me no, right? No, Stephen, we can't afford it. So I thought to myself, I don't want to go to my parents. So I went to my siblings and I said, hey guys, I want to build this tree house. What do you think? They said, Stephen, you're stupid, you know? Like that's a dumb idea. And I thought to myself, the moment they told me I was stupid, that I couldn't do it, I had this fire light inside of me. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to do it just because I want to prove them wrong, but I did, right? I wanted definitely to prove them wrong, but I think more so, I wanted to prove myself right. I wanted to prove that I could do this thing, that I could make this happen. This dream is so big. How can I create it? What can I do for it? What are my options? Not seeing any, and all of a sudden, one day, I'm walking around this tree, and this thought comes to me. Stephen, you're no stranger to dumpster diving. Go find the materials that you need. So I set off, 9 years old. You know, I'm traveling down these alleyways and I'm finding stuff. I remember one time I found this exterior wood door. I found an old waterbed. But the upper part of that waterbed was like pressure treated 2x8s, the surround, you know, it was like perfect wood for a tree house. So I start gathering all this wood, finding lots of different things, some 2x4s, some different pallets and things that I started to find. And I got to the point where I had gathered enough wood, but I still didn't have anything to fasten the wood to the tree with. And I get another thought, Stephen, why don't you go back inside this old dilapidated garage that you've got and see if you can find something to start with at least, right? I grab a broom and a dustpan and I get to work. So I'm cleaning up and I'm organizing and I get to the point where I find a decent handful of nails and screws. Enough to get started, right? So I cut a 2x4, I make some steps to get up into the tree. I get up into this tree and I start hoisting all this wood up into this tree. And I'm just having a blast. Like this is exciting for me because I'm creating. You ever been in creation mode? When you're in creation mode, work isn't work, is it? Like work is play. So I'm up early, I'm getting up in my tree house, I'm up there until the sun goes down. And I get to the point where I had gone as far as I could with the resources that I had. I had a lot of wood left, but I didn't have any more nails and screws. So I'm up in my tree house this one day, and my mother calls me down, and she said, Stephen, I've got something for you. I need you to come down here. And so I hurry down. She had her hand behind her back, and she looks at me, and she kind of brings me close. And so she pulls her hand out from behind her back, and she opens up this bag and holds it over to me. And I look inside this bag, and inside this bag was a brand new box of 16 penny nails. For the normal person, that wouldn't have made a difference. For the normal situation, that wouldn't have been a big deal. For me, that was the realization of my goal, of my dream. I threw my arms around my mom's neck, gave her a huge hug and a kiss, and I grabbed that bag and I ran up in my tree, and the world never heard from me again. No, I'm just kidding. But I completed my project. I finished my tree house. Oftentimes we face challenges. Oftentimes those challenges don't look great to us. Oftentimes we're ashamed of those challenges. But oftentimes it's those challenges that provide the foundation for us to build our mansion, to build our treehouse. That's what it was for me. I learned some amazing things. I learned that I get in my way. I learned that I get in my way, but not just I get in my way, we all get in our way at times. These beliefs that we buy into. I believe because of all of my past experience that I couldn't go to my parents and ask them for help. Was it true? No, because in the end, who provided me with exactly what I needed to finish my project? My mom. I learned that oftentimes I will allow those beliefs to dictate my actions. But if I can learn to remove those limiting beliefs, I can excel faster. If a poor boy from St. Petersburg, who had nothing to his name, had no reason to believe that he could create his mansion, but did, you can create anything that you want.